Hello, welcome to North Realty News. I'm your host, Jess Nielsen, and today we're chatting with Glenda and Jennifer from Titles of Dakota. Thanks for being here today, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
You bet. So do you mind if we get to know you a little bit before we get started?
Sure.
All right, Jen. So what is a typical Friday night at your house?
Oh, a typical Friday night at my house lately is usually traveling for volleyball or baseball with my teenagers. They are both in sports, so we are busy doing that usually every Friday night. In the summertime, you can find us at the river or the lake camping with our friends and family.
I love that. Sometimes do you feel like when your kids are in sports, you're in sports too?
Yes, I'm very involved.
You're in it. Yes, yes. Camping, do you camp or glamp? Like what are we talking? Tents? Campers?
I guess you're going to call it glamping.
Uh-huh.
We have a Class C motorhome, so we have a camper with everything in it, bathroom, shower. Yeah.
That's my kind of camping.
Yep, only way to go.
Yep. How about you, Miss Glenda? What do you do for fun?
Now that summer's coming and getting nice out, I like to get out on the golf course a little bit, chasing balls around. Sitting around the campfire on the weekends, having a couple drinks.
Just relaxing.
And there's, summer chores.
Yes.
Working outside, I don't know how much fun that is, but...
It's got to be done.
Gardening, and then after that's canning season. And so it just... There's things that take up my time, it seems like.
I love that. I tried canning for the first time this summer. Interesting stuff.
It's a lot of work.
It's like pioneer living.
It is a lot of work.
But like the salsa I made was the best salsa I ever had in my life. You know, you put your own, sweat and tears into it. I burned, so I did, there was a burn.
No, that's okay.
Sweat and tears, literally.
Yeah, you learn. That's how you learn.
Oh, I did. Yep. Well, thank you for sharing a little about yourselves. I appreciate it. So let's talk a little about Titles of Dakota. So can one of you tell me what services does Titles of Dakota offer?
Currently, we offer closing services, title insurance, title searches, and construction dispersing.
Okay.
We currently service 11 counties, but don't forget we can write title insurance and perform closing services for any county in South Dakota.
Yes. Any county, Edmonds, Spink, all of them, Day. Yep.
Any county.
Yep. And so what exactly is title work? Some people don't really know what that is. And so who wants to be the expert?
Well, I can talk a little bit about the title insurance.
Title insurance, okay.
So the title insurance is a policy, and it protects the property owner against a loss that could result from a defect in the title of the property being purchased.
Okay.
Now, you only pay that premium once, and it's good until the property ownership changes.
So the whole time you hold it, you are covered.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so the title insurance protects you against any defects that could already exist, not future events.
Okay. So if something gets tied to that, you don't say, "Oh, nope, that doesn't count." What happens. That's
right.
Yep.
Whatever's been recorded.
But anything previous, prior.
Right.
Okay. So that's title insurance. Okay. And then I need that because it protects me.
It guarantees that the property being purchased is free of any undisclosed liens, confusions in the rights of ownership.
Yep.
And other, quote-unquote, we'll call them clouds in the title. So clouds in the title can include mistakes in the recording of legal documents, clerical errors in public record,
Right.
undisclosed or missing heirs, invalid divorces, misrepresentation of marital status, invalid mechanics liens.
It sounds like human error. It's like,
It's
hey,
a
we
lot.
might have human error.
There's just
but
a lot of things that happen, and it's up to us to find those things.
It sounds like a big job.
It can be.
It sounds
yes.
like a big job, right? So this is really good information, and I'm wondering if you'll try a little something with me. And this is not to trick you, but we're just going to look at a couple houses, okay? So this one, we're probably all kind of familiar with it, right? It's the Longfellow house down on, I don't know, what is it, North Main?
Yep.
Yes. And so when you don't always see the picture of it, but this neighborhood maybe. When you see it come up, do you think, oh, this title search is going to be a long one? There's going to be a lot of records? Or do you not even think like that at all?
I don't normally think like that.
Right,
Until
yeah.
till you start getting into it and looking at some things. Every property is so different.
Yep.
There's not a one size fits all for everything.
Yeah.
And there's surprises all the time.
And so I'm thinking like a house this old, it's probably changed hands a ton of times. Or who knows, maybe the same family has owned it the whole time. So all of those changes play into
Exactly. Right.
your title
Exactly.
search.
Right.
Yeah. Search. Yes. Yes. So if you go like, even these, they're all just the older homes down on North Main. But like this one, everybody knows this one. It's the dollhouse on 6th Avenue. When I see these old houses, I just think you are going to pull 50 title record cards to get through the title work on this. But,
Or more.
Or more. Yeah.
Yeah. There could be quite a few depending on how many owners and what has all happened with that particular property, if it's been replatted or if it's had the same ownership.
All kinds of things that
Oh,
go into
yeah.
it. Yeah.
All sorts of things.
All kinds of things. So what if we get into something like new? If you see a new build come up, does that change like what may or may not be in the title history?
Usually with new builds, it's just usually a replat, possibly.
Right, it's like a land and then it turned to a house,
and if
but
it's
not
a construction project. We have to be careful of those things because we will need
construction
some extra
projects.
documentation.
Yes, lien waivers and
Right, correct.
all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're going to ask for a contractor statement, lien waivers. We want to make sure everybody that has worked on the job has been paid for their services.
Yes.
Surveys, so
Yep.
we can make sure that the builder did not encroach on any neighbors' properties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it really is a variable based on the property, it sounds like. And then and the person. How does the person affect this? Do you do a search of the buyer or the seller?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to make sure that there is no outstanding bills, judgments, liens
Yeah.
against the individual, the property. We look at all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody that's involved gets examined just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not in a bad way. It's a good way. Well, that is good stuff. And I hope that was painless for you. It wasn't a trick. It was just, these houses are some that, maybe we are familiar with or have seen. So what are some tips that you have for people who are on their way to closing? They've made it through all the hoops and they're going to the closing table.
So you're ready to close, you're ready to head to our office. I want to first start by saying that we know whether you're buying or selling a home. It is a very exciting time, but we also know it can be very stressful and very scary at times, and we get that. But we do want you to try to relax, have fun with the process, trust the process. We're here to help you and support you and your realtors. Some advice is just provide any necessary or information you think is needed to your lender, realtor, or us as the title company, as soon as possible. The earlier we have the information, the smoother the transaction is going to go.
Yep.
Another big thing, you're going to have to bring your driver's license or your identification card.
Valid.
Yep. Make sure that it is not expired. It does have to be valid. And also, we do run into a lot if you've had a recent name change due to marriage, divorce. However you are signing documents that day, we want to make sure that your driver's license reflects that same name.
Yep.
So that's an important item. Also, a good thing before coming into closing, we also like to mention wire fraud.
Yes.
Wire fraud continues to be an ongoing issue in the real estate industry and the title industry, so please be aware of that. If we send you or your realtor wiring instructions, we are not going to change or modify a previously sent instruction via unsecured email. It will always be a secured email. If you do receive an email with a change or a notification or a modification, let us know right away. Call us, verify us. Do not send any wires until you verify that information with us.
Yes. So again, if you get a second email, that's not Titles of Dakota.
Correct.
No.
Probably more than likely not. We will send
Yep.
it once when you ask
Yep.
for it. It's going to come secure.
Yep.
If you get a second email, it's probably a phishing email, scam. Call us, verify it. We do not want your wired money to go into outer space
Yes.
or to somebody else's account.
This is a big deal. It's a real thing. And
Wire fraud is huge.
It's huge, yeah. And we're going to be ahead of it and aware of it.
Yep, we try.
Yep, definitely. Well, that is good stuff. And it is sad when you get to closing and you forgot your driver's license or something. So if you forget it, run and grab it, but make sure it's valid. Follow the instructions that you get from the closing company. And just be vigilant, right? Be diligent, be smart. Don't give that information out to anybody that you don't actually know. Yep.
Correct. Yeah, just remember, we're here working hard to provide a successful, good experience for the buyers, the sellers, the realtors, the lenders, everybody involved. So if you ever have any questions, there is no stupid question. You know, a lot of times we'll have a first-time home buyer and they're embarrassed to ask something.
Ask all the questions.
If you're wondering it, somebody else is also, wondering it. So ask away. That's what we're here for. When you don't do this every day, it's
scary. It is.
World.
Yeah, it's really scary. And you mentioned that you guys are here to support a successful transaction, and I agree with that fully. When I turn my file over to you, I know that I'm going to have a successful transaction. So I appreciate what you do. I think you do a wonderful job, and I just know that it's going to be done right, and there's value in that. So, yeah.
Yeah, we try. Thank you.
You do good.
Yes, thanks for saying that.
Yeah. So finally, how can people get in touch with you if they want to talk titles?
If they want to call or if they have questions, they can call us at our local Aberdeen number here at 605-225-4903. If they have a title question, if it's title specific, they can ask for the title department.
Okay.
If it is a closing specific question, they can ask for the closing department.
Very good. All right. Well, Jennifer and Glenda, thank you so much for chatting with us today on North Realty News.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes.